Good morning. My name is Tom. Welcome to my outdoor kitchen. Today's project we're going to be serving up is eel pots. Now for most of you, you're going to be saying, what the heck is an eel pot? Well, here in the state of Maine, we have what's called an American eel, and it is an untapped food source for anyone willing to go out there and learn how to trap it, learn how to fish for it. An eel grows to be a length of about 4 feet, the females, and they can weigh as much as up to 9 pounds. So it makes them a heck of a food source. They're excellent in fish chowders. They are great fried as a fish nugget, a deep fried fish nugget with a batter on it. And the other thing is, fish chowder. I use them on fish chowders, and they're excellent smoked in the smoker. And it's an untapped food source in the state of Maine. And the way that I look at things is, in order to fill the freezer with wild game, you have to go after the foods that's not highly regulated, some of the fishes. White perch is one of them, and this is another one. Big game animals, they're highly regulated, so you're only allowed one a year. Whether it's a moose, you can only get with a permit maybe once in your lifetime. So those aren't really good big food sources to go after if you would like to feed your family if the crap hits the fan. So finding species of fish that no one else wants to fish for, to me, that's top notch on the list of things to do. So if you like that kind of stuff, hang around in this channel, and that's what this channel is all about. I'm going to take the pots and pieces that you see here in front of me, and we're going to build what's called a eel pot, or some would call them an eel trap. All of the pots and pieces here come from a hardware store. I did have to order the funnels. I could not get those here in the state, but the funnel is probably the main part of the trap. I have some pipe down here in front of me. We're going to turn those into 3-foot traps. I'm also going to turn these buckets into traps. Mostly with these buckets, I'm going to need a bait fish for my eel bots. And so what I'm going to do with these I'm going to cut them down. We'll show you. I'll make a video on it. I'm going to cut them down, and I'm going to build a trap for bait that's approximately 3 to 4 feet long. And what I'll be catching with that is chubs, anywhere from 6 inches up to a foot. And then I can put crushed up chubs into my eel pots as a bait to catch my eels. A week ago, my last video that went out, at the very end of the video, I had a bucket of fish heads. And some of you made some guesses, and some of you hit it right on the head. Others weren't quite so close, and some didn't make a guess at all. But anyways, the fish heads that you saw, they're in my freezer now. I packaged them up into gallon freezer bags so that I can save them for bait. Those are the fish heads and any kind of garbage meat that will go inside of this trap to help me catch an eel. Now, for those of you that don't know what an eel pot is or how you use an eel pot, I'll be going out in my boat. You see the new boat there that I just got, the one I bartered. I'm not sure, but that might become the boat for eel fishing. And that way I can leave it right in the water, full of all the gear that I would need for eel fishing and eel trapping. So maybe that barter boat will become the eel boat. We'll see in the future. So what you do, you take this trap. You don't really fill it up, but you put in a good couple of handfuls, 2 or 3 handfuls of bait into this trap. This rope right here will be attached to this trap. I'm going to drill 2 holes in here, and I'm going to make a loop. And that way I've got a loop to tie my rope to, and that will run up to the surface. Down there you see that blue jug that's in the video. That blue jug will be my buoy up on top. Some of these traps will have 10 to 15 feet of line on them. Some will have 20. Some will have 30. As I've been fishing for eels over the years, I've caught them in anything from 3 feet of water up to 25 feet of water. And who knows, maybe they're deeper too, I'm not sure. But anyways, I'll have traps with different lengths on them and all of that for different areas on the lake, as well as the swamp part that I'll be fishing for these on. Now, where I've always caught them, I've caught them in and around like swamp grass as we've been looking for catfish and stuff like that, hornpout. So that's where I'm going to start. That water is about 15 to 20 feet deep. It's also where I catch my chubs. So I can have a day of catching chubs up in the bog, as well as check my eel pots while I'm up there. My intentions on the first trip is to run 25 traps up 5 miles of swamp stream. And hopefully from there I can find out where the best trapping would be in that 5 miles. That's also back where my hunting cabin is. So it's going to make for a really fun day. I'll be able to go out and check my pots. I'll be able to check my bait traps for chubs. And then I'll wrap up the day spending some quality time back at the bush cabin that you've seen in my video. So it might make a good place to have some lunch. Maybe even, who knows, cook up one of those eels for a good shore lunch. Now this rope will be tied to this trap, and then this trap, that rope will be tied to that blue jug over there. And that blue jug will float on top of the water, and that'll be my buoy for marking this trap. So it's a pretty simple technology. They've been using traps to trap fish for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. There's nothing new about trapping fish as for bait as well as for food. So, and around the globe, eel fishing and eating eels, as you guys know, outside of the United States, is very popular. It's just an untapped food source here in the United States. For whatever reason, I couldn't tell you. I like to go after fish that no one else is fishing for, basically because of the laws. And eel fits that bill perfectly for me, and it really helps that eel is very good to eat. I urge you, if you have not tried an eel, to think about giving it a shot, because you might be very surprised at how good an eel tastes. Now what I do with the eels, so that how I like them anyways, is I soak them overnight in a bowl of salt water. And that does two things. The first night is it gets rid of the slime that's on the eel. And then after that I clean the eel, and then I get fresh water, another cup of salt, and I let the cleaned eel soak in the clean salt water overnight again. So the eel spends about 24 hours in a salt brine before I cook it. Now you take that boneless, skinless eel that's been soaking in salt water overnight, dry it off, pat it off, roll it in your favorite batter, and then throw it in a deep fryer. And I'm telling you, it is the very best fish nugget that I have ever eaten, and it is very tender. I believe it gets its tenderness from soaking in the saltwater brine. So, I've got the first eel pot completed. My plan is to have 25 of these built for September 1st, and I will be starting to fish with them for the month of September and probably a little bit into October. Oh, we'll see. Eel fishing up here, you can do it for 12 months according to the state of Maine. So we'll just see if they will feed in the winter time. I'm not sure. I have been fishing for eels for probably 30 years. As I fish for white perch and hornpout, we call them hornpout up here. I think south of here they call them catfish. We just plain every once in a while we'll catch 2 or 3 a night on the American eel. So trapping eels and using eel pots is a brand new endeavor for me. What my hope is that this is an untapped food source, like I said earlier in the video. My hope is with these traps I can go out in a couple of weeks and catch anywhere from 50 to 100 eels to put in my freezer for the winter. It's just another food source to add to my pantry. So that's why I have decided to go into these eel pots. So how this pot works is I've got the 2 bungee cords. I've made this 2.5 feet long, I still need to drill them with 1/2-inch holes to make them legal for the state of Maine. There needs to be an escape hole for the smaller eels. But when I get out on the water, we can take this apart right here with the bungee, and then this eel funnel will come right out. Eels can be dumped out of the pot. The eels can be dumped out of the pot, and I'm back in business. Put some more bait in, and away we go. I still got a couple more things to do to this trap. This end is going to get tied in with a zip cord, and that way there'll only be one side of the pot that comes out. That's just a little tidbit of information about the American eel, and I'm looking forward to this endeavor, and I'm looking forward to bringing you guys along on this new endeavor of mine of trapping the American eel in the state of Maine. Hey, I'll see you on the next one. At the end of this video, I'll put you in some links to more topics about the great state of Maine. There'll be 3 of them. I also have a round circle back there. I'm standing next to a bear. Click that bear if you'd like to subscribe to my channel. Looking forward to meeting you, and come along with me to the state of Maine.